The Disaster Resilience Project is a working relationship between schools and the emergency services sector. Developing disaster resilience involves understanding our local natural hazards and taking positive action to reduce the impacts of these hazards.
The Dandenong Ranges are usually quoted as either the number 2 or number 3 highest risk bushfire areas in the world. And so this disaster resilience program actually provides students and staff with the opportunity to put all that into context. Having a partnership between Upwey High School and the emergency services where you have professionals coming in and delivering that professional learning for staff.
It's been really helpful having the emergency services supporting the classroom teaching. I wouldn't have taken on that unit otherwise. All the information was there and I knew it was accurate, and I was providing students with the best information.
I didn't know much about disaster resilience. I knew that you usually have to have a fire plan for your house, and I knew what you had to do before a fire started in the area, but I didn't know about the fires or other things. Like, I didn't know a lot about floods or other disasters that could occur around the hills.
I learnt that there were bushfires closer to my house than I would have expected. And I remember there was one activity we did during our lessons where we put in our address and we could set the filters to like any natural disaster, and we could see like in the past 50 years the natural disasters in our area.
I think it's like really important to learn about it at school so that when it does, because there will be something that occurs in your life that you're ready and prepared. And so not just thinking about yourself, so if you know there's something coming, maybe pop in next door or see how your neighbours are doing. And it's also good to have like a first aid kit or food and water for 3 days to make sure that if it does happen, you're fully prepared.
We did discuss with our parents the dangers and what we could do, because they hadn't had the lessons and they probably haven't been taught like us.
Coming from overseas, it's different, so I've already been talking to my mum about being disaster resilient. I go home every time we do it and tell her more facts, and she finds it really interesting. And next summer we're hopefully going to do some more steps to get out earlier.
During the Disaster Resilience program, the initial lessons, the students were really animated. They really got into the lessons because it was related to their area and it was related to events that they were familiar with. It was great to see them asking questions and talking about what they knew and what their parents had done, and even questioning, oh, why do you have to do that? They really got into it.
I think the access to the resources has been great. You know, going to the website, being able to look at the overlay maps, being able to look at the history of fire, the resources provided have been terrific, and I think that really stimulated discussion, and making it local and relevant for the students has been really good.
I'm much more confident now because everything was there that we needed. The students had great discussions, they could cope with all the work. Overall, it's been really smooth. Having the learning intentions there made it really easy, because that's how we work all the time, and all the information there. And knowing it's up to date and accurate information makes it a lot more confident. We will incorporate this unit of work into our curriculum now, so it will become part of our Year 7 Geography unit.
Disaster resilience education in the curriculum also supports our emergency management planning. Our emergency management up here is really quite broad. We cover everything from floods to earthquakes to everything in between, but we have a special focus obviously being on the registry around bushfires. Disaster resilience being built up through the curriculum and being supported by teachers who actually understand what the values are around disaster resilience and being able to access the resources that will support them in their work, I think is a worthy aim for any school.
Disaster resilience education provides young people with the knowledge, skills and confidence to actively contribute to building resilience in their homes, schools and communities. Research indicates that providing teachers with professional development and practical learning activities for students are key components in producing positive resilience building outcomes. Let's work together to make disaster resilience an important part of your school's curriculum.